Once more, congratulations for making this most important decision of your life to join the Financial Fitness Challenge. Today, day one, we are going to assess your financial health. That is the very place that we always begin by trying to understand where things stand so that we can have a baseline to begin to accelerate your income. And this is the mind map for day one. So first, we will go through your personal financial fitness assessment. Then we will progress into clearing the income blocks, the psychological barriers that have kept you from succeeding financially. And then we will apply all the assessment insights that you got from the assessment to make a plan. All right, so let's begin with the personal financial fitness assessment. Why? Because all transformation begins with truth-telling. If you want to change a system, you must first of all gather data about that system. And based on the data you gathered about the system, you can now fine-tune it. So in the same way, if you want to transform your finances, you must start by telling yourself the truth. What is the current reality? What is the baseline? Where exactly are you financially? And it is the same in every other part of our lives. If it is in our marriage, if we want to transform our relationship, we have to start always by telling ourselves the truth of that situation. Now, not long ago, I was at Rice University in Houston, Texas. That's what you're seeing there, the map of a section of the campus. And I was trying to get to a certain point, and it was practically difficult driving to that place. So I had to come to this map. Because if you first know where you are, then you can plot your destination. That's exactly what happened. So I found out that I was in the area that is marked in green or neon, and it became very easy for me to drive to the direction in the campus that I was going. It's the same thing in your finances. You must know where you are right now, financially speaking, to be able to plot your direction. All right, so truth number one that you must tell yourself about your current reality is to know your net worth. Most of us walk around not knowing that number, and yet it is the most important baseline, the most important data that we need to have about our baseline financial situation. So your net worth, which is what you own, your asset, minus what you owe, your liabilities. As simple as that sounds, most of us don't know. And I didn't know know my own net worth for a long time until I had to fill the CSS profile for College Board for my children. And I was forced to go through that file, to go through that form, and to enter the data. And the immediate experience of knowing my net worth was humbling. Your net worth will humble you first. Then it will motivate you afterwards. It is your starting point to money freedom. This is critical. Don't move forward until you actually know your net worth. It's going to humble you, and then it's going to motivate you. Why does knowing the truth about your net worth actually matter? Besides the fact that many people are capping on social media, many people are living fake lives, showing us cars and big mansions and things like that. But when you actually go close to know what the net worth of these individuals are, it is very embarrassing. So your net worth is your financial scorecard. So tracking it regularly is a very important financial discipline. So it will help you understand where you stand financially. It will also enable you to know the areas that you need to improve, particularly to reduce debt or to grow your asset. And then it will help you to set realistic goals for financial freedom. You can't set realistic goals when you don't know what your net worth is. Okay, so this is a slide I would like you to pause and study. So you can actually pause the video and study. So this is a financial fitness net worth calculator that you can use to calculate your net worth. So it has several categories that include what you own, your cash and bank balances, your investment, your property, your vehicles, all those ones in the asset column. And then it also allows you to look at the things that you owe, your personal debt, the debt you owe the cooperative society in your company, your medical bills, and all those utility bills. Now, when you calculate what you own, which is what is in green, and then you calculate what you owe. The difference will give you your net worth, because your net worth is going to be your total assets minus your total liabilities. So later in the worksheet, you'll be able to extract information from here to calculate your own net worth. Okay, the next thing is to determine your financial fitness score. All right, so I developed a system to quickly help anyone, whether you've been to MBA or not, just quickly help anyone who can read and write to have a qualitative pinpointing of exactly where you are in the financial fitness scale. So it's called the Universal Financial Fitness Scale, and it goes from 0, where you are financially desperate, all the way to 10, where you are building generational wealth. So it is very easy to look up this scale and to locate exactly where you are. And knowing that number is very important, because later I'm going to show you, if you are a 2, what you need to do. If you are a 7, what you need to do. So look at this financial fitness scale. Where do you find yourself? Take a moment to look at that. Where do you find yourself? Are you a 1? Are you a 4? Are you a 7? Are you even a 10? Find out. Okay, so let's go into clearing income blocks. Now, when you have determined where you stand on the universal scale, then the question you are going to use to conduct some kind of root analysis, because you need to actually find out, why are you a 2 and not a 10? Why are you a 1 and not a 5 or a 6? It's important, because if you do not understand the root cause of your financial struggle, then you're not going to be able to remove it or to address it. So the 3 questions I would like you to answer include: number 1, why are you not succeeding financially? You've got to put down, you've got to think, you've got to find a moment to do this thinking. And this is probably a question that you've never really sat down to think through. But when you do sit down to think through these questions, you will have some amazing and surprising answers that will become, in fact, transformational for you. Why are you a 3 and not a 9 or 10? When you ask, when you probe your mind and your heart, the answer will come to you. And you need this answer. Remember, we said that every transformation of a system begins with truth telling. If you do not know what is making you stumble, you will keep on stumbling. Okay, so my example, when I did this, my constraints and choke points holding me back from achieving my financial goals, I sat down to think about it. What are the choke points? What are the things holding me back? Where am I leaving money on the table? And then I came up, after interrogating my mind, I came up with a number of situations. I don't have an A team. And then sometimes I tend to pursue many opportunities at the same time. And then I lack real power partnerships. I'm also very, very poor with record keeping. Very, very poor. So I go to a POS, or I go to ATM, or I go to a store and buy things, and then they give me that receipt, and I never keep it. Okay, and then I also discovered that I wasn't a part of high income mastermind yet. So that's my example. Nobody can do this thing for you, and you've got to be very, very honest with yourself when you do this exercise. You've got to be very, very authentic, because if there is no truth in it, if you don't tell the truth of your current reality, I bet you are not going to change it. Okay, so how do you identify the invisible income blocks? Because we're carrying invisible income blocks. If they were visible, we will know. So there is a formula that you can use to find out. Your financial experience is equal to the potential minus interference. In other words, what you're experiencing right now, your struggles, is actually the potential, what you could be, where you could be. Maybe you could be like $1 million person, but right now you are, like $100 person. And the reason is because there are interferences, there are blocks. So you are doing $1,000 when your potential is actually $1 million. So there's a difference of, is that 999,000? And then what's preventing that 999,000? Interferences, blocks, barriers. They are invisible. They are in your mind. They are not outside of you. Because outside of you, there is all all the abundance you can ever think about. But the barrier is inside. Cognitive errors, disempowering beliefs, personal biases, negative attitudes, bad habits, toxic work environment, lack of knowledge, lack of courage, procrastination, fear, doubt, lack of self-belief. These are invisible income blocks that must be cleared. So what are the hidden obstacles preventing you from growing your income? So from my work with many people, from my work with literally thousands of people, right from the time I was on TV, and I speak to thousands of people literally every week through my work. These are some of the main hidden obstacles, mental blocks keeping people from moving forward financially. The first one is fear of rejection. This fear makes people to avoid opportunities because they are afraid that if they step out to try to make the sale, if they step out there to try to ask for the deal, that they'll be rejected, so they don't act. And then because you don't act, you don't move forward. There is also the lack of self-worth, because understanding your value leads to underpricing, okay? Underpricing your skills and limiting your earning potential. Not understanding your value or underestimating your value will cause you to underprice yourself, your products and services. The other one that needs no commenting is procrastination. We keep delaying and delaying. At the beginning of the year in January, you say, okay, you're going to do this. And then February, you say, okay, I will do it in March. March, you say, I will do it in April. April, you say, okay, I will do it in September. The whole entire year goes, you never do it. That is a hidden obstacle. Then sticking to only what is comfortable and familiar is another big problem. So many people, they are just comfortable in that job, even though they are being abused, even though they are underpaid, but they are comfortable because that's what they are familiar with. And then the thought of starting their own business, quitting to start their own business, makes them poop in their pants because it is very unfamiliar, it's very, very scary, so they stay where they are in the familiar place. Then there are also subconscious beliefs, unseen financial beliefs about money that are blocking you. I came from a religious tradition when I was very much younger, where I was basically taught, as well as thousands of people, that money was the root of all evil. And I didn't want to be an evil person. So I was subconsciously repelling money. But it never said that money was the root of all evil. It did say that the love of money, the greed, the covetousness behind money is the root of all evil. So your money narrative is a story you tell yourself about money. This quiet narrative you tell yourself, nobody even hears it. It shapes how you think, how you feel, and how you behave with your finances. Okay, so you need to ask yourself, what old financial habits or beliefs are hindering your success? Some people say, I'll never be able to save money. There's just never enough. I don't earn enough. I'll wait until I get a raise before I start budgeting or investing. I can't afford to invest. It's only for people with extra money. All these stories you tell yourself and all these old financial habits hinder your success, and you must fish them out. Okay, finally, how do we apply the insights from this financial health assessment that you just did personally? Okay, so here's your financial clarity blueprint. This step 1 is to review and summarize your key findings. What did you specifically find out about yourself? Like, I found out about myself that I didn't have an A team, and I also found out that I tend to pursue too many things at the same time. And then when I'm bleeding my focus and my concentration, it makes me to lose money. You wouldn't imagine, how much money I'm actually losing in a particular investment I did because I'm not giving it the attention. So review and summarize your key findings. Okay. Second thing you do is identify growth areas where you have opportunity for improvement. Okay. So that is to identify your growth areas, identify the areas that you need to improve. But you don't just stop with identifying your weaknesses. You also want to identify the opportunity areas. Okay. So look for gaps, look for untapped potential where you can either save more or increase your income. So that's what your financial assessment should help you to do. It should help you to see areas where you need to grow, to improve, It should also help you to see opportunities. Then, based on those, you will set actionable goals. You break down your growth and opportunity areas, which you have found in step 2 and step 3, respectively, into very, very clear, achievable financial goals with timeline. So you see, this is how you take advantage of your financial health assessment, because just like the doctors will, first of all, when you go to a doctor and tell the doctor that you're feeling sick, you have headache, you have that, the doctor first of all does diagnosis, checks your heart, probably sends you to do a blood test and a couple of other things. And then based on that, he does a treatment, he does a prescription. So in the same way, you have done your financial health assessment. So you see where the symptoms are not very, very good, that you need to improve. Then you see other areas of opportunity that you need to take advantage of. Now, I showed you the universal financial fitness scale, and I did promise you that if you pick a number, that later on you will see a relevant strategy. So this is going to be very useful for doing this previous exercise, step 4. So it's going to be useful in helping you to set clear financial goals. So we've made it very, very scientific. Okay, so head on to the exercise for day 1, the exercise, the worksheet for assessing your financial health, and complete that exercise. Do it very thoroughly, do it very introspectively, and then I'm going to see you tomorrow.